Have you ever found yourself in a conversation with the native English speakers and suddenly felt a bit lost? Like maybe the words are just flying by too fast, or, they're using phrases that definitely weren't in the textbook.
Oh, absolutely. That feeling is incredibly common.
Yeah. Maybe just asking for directions or ordering food or even small talk feels, I don't know, daunting.
Exactly. The English you hear day to day, it isn't always about perfect grammar. It's more about the rhythm,
Yeah.
Shared understanding, common phrases. That's what creates connection.
Textbooks give you the foundation, maybe.
Sure, they build the grammar muscles.
Right.
But everyday chat, that's where you learn the dance.
I like that, the dance. And that's exactly what we're diving into today.
Mm-hmm.
We've got all this great source material you shared covering, everything from grabbing bread at the bakery to figuring out a doctor's visit or fixing a leaky sink.
Yeah, the practical stuff.
So our mission here in this deep dive is to go beyond just like vocabulary lists. We want to pull out the key insights, the why behind certain phrases, the patterns that make English sound, well, natural.
And how you can use these little moments from real life to build your own confidence. It often starts small, doesn't it? Those casual connections, small talk.
Yeah, small talk seems trivial sometimes, but it's so fundamental. Like, think about that bakery conversation in the sources between James and Daniel.
Okay.
James sees Daniel early, right? And he says, "Morning, Daniel, you're up early."
Right. And notice the tone there. It's not demanding, like, why are you up so early?
No, it's friendly.
It's an observation, an opening. It just shows you notice the other person. It's acknowledging presence, not really asking for a detailed schedule.
And Daniel's reply is great too. Simple, relevant. Yeah, had to grab some bread before work. Gives a quick reason.
But then he adds that little personal touch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My wife loves the sourdough here.
That's key. Adding something small about family or preference, it just warms up the interaction. It stops being just facts,
Yeah.
Becomes a moment of connection. You're sharing a tiny piece of your world.
And James's response to that, the classic. Happy wife, happy life, right?
Fantastic example. Using a cliche, a common saying. Native speakers do this all the time in casual chat.
It's not deep philosophy, is it?
Not at all. That's a signal. Shows you share some common cultural ground, even playfully. It's like shorthand for agreement. These little exchanges, they're the foundation.
Totally. Okay, so moving from those quick hellos to navigating more practical everyday things, the sources cover quite a bit here.
Yeah, like that phone call about the grocery business.
Yeah.
The typical opener for a work contact. How's business?
Right. Standard check-in.
And the common replies. They're interesting because they're often understated. I can't complain.
Which doesn't mean things are amazing, right? It just means, okay, not bad.
Exactly. Things are fine, or it's steady, which means, regular business, predictable, not terrible, not booming.
It highlights that thing about understatement in English, doesn't it? Sometimes can't complain is the positive answer.
Definitely. If things were really great, they might say, doing really well, or super busy, something more energetic.
And in that same call, the conversation shifts to something personal. My back's been killing me.
Yeah, and that's not literal, obviously.
Yeah.
It's just a standard, maybe slightly dramatic idiom for having quite a bit of pain. Much more natural than saying, I am experiencing severe back pain.
It really conveys the feeling, though.
It does. And the friend's advice, you should take it easy, leads to that great response.
Tell that to my customers.
Brilliant. It's a humorous way of saying, good advice, but impossible for me right now.
Uses humor to deflect, kind of.
Exactly. Acknowledges the suggestion and explains why it won't happen. Adds personality, even when talking about something difficult.
And you see that playful language even when things are broken. Like the repair shop interaction, Mr. Wilson and Allie the repairman.
Right. Mr. Wilson says the fan stopped working again.
Simple, direct. Tells Allie it's a recurring issue.
Sets the expectation. Maybe the last fix didn't quite stick.
And then the playful exaggeration comes back. Mr. Wilson says, I think it hates me.
And Allie plays along. Maybe it's just tired of summer.
Huh. Yeah. Using humor like that, especially in a service situation, it just builds a friendlier dynamic, doesn't it?
It humanizes it. It's not just a transaction. And then Mr. Wilson explains the urgency but makes it personal. My wife won't survive another hot night.
That phrase, it instantly tells Allie why it's urgent, creates empathy.
For sure. And Allie's reply, I'll make it a priority, signals he gets it. He understands the need for speed. It shows these exchanges have social layers, not just function.
Okay, speaking of connection, offering and receiving help is huge in daily life. How did the sources show us doing that naturally?
Well, there was that story about helping the elderly man who dropped his groceries. The offer itself is very straightforward. Let me give you a hand with that.
Give you a hand. Super common, friendly way to offer help with a task.
And the man's response is warm, appreciative, you're a kind soul, and then that observation. Not many people stop these days.
Adds a bit of poignancy, doesn't it?
It really does. It adds an emotional layer. And when you get thanked like that, a natural, almost humble reply is often, it's nothing.
Right. Downplays your effort. Makes the other person feel less, indebted.
Exactly. Very common way to say, you're welcome there. And the man's joke about what he lost. Only my pride.
Classic. Shows he wasn't hurt, just maybe a little embarrassed. That light humor again.
Very natural. And that core offer, need a hand with anything. You can use it everywhere. Like the source mentioned, seeing a coworker drowning in emails. Same idea, slightly different words.
Okay, let's broaden out a bit. The sources have great examples of just talking about home, work, life updates.
Yeah, like visiting a friend's new apartment. What's the first thing you say?
Wow, this place looks great. Simple, positive.
Always works. And talking about settling in. Finally finished unpacking. That's the practical bit.
But then the feeling, it feels more like home now.
That phrase is key. It means you're comfortable, familiar. It's emotional, not just physical description.
And complimenting their choices, like the dining table. The friend says, she has better taste than I do.
Right. It's not serious self-criticism. It's a humble way to credit someone else for a good choice, usually style-related.
And the reply, smart man.
Casual approval, shorthand for good decision letting her choose. It's just easy conversational agreement.
Okay, shift to the office. Asking about workload.
Simple. Busy day.
Standard. And if you're completely overwhelmed,
The common, slightly dramatic answer, you have no idea, meaning it's way worse than it looks.
and if someone offers help, need a hand, but you're actually okay.
A polite and confident way to decline is, no thanks, I've got it under control. Acknowledges the offer, reassures them you're capable.
Right. And catching up with an old friend, maybe at a cafe, first thing.
Acknowledge the time gap. Wow, it's been a long time.
Essential. Then the standard.
How have you been? And the typical answer is usually pretty brief, covers the big things. I've been well, thank you. Busy with work and family. You know the drill.
Covers the bases without going into tons of detail unless asked.
Exactly. And you ask about their life. How is your husband doing? And share your own news simply. Started a new job. Or he enjoys it a lot.
And describing that new job, it is challenging but rewarding.
Perfect phrase. Captures that mix of difficulty and satisfaction. Concise way to explain complexity.
Okay, let's dig even deeper now into some of those really practical situations the sources detailed. Navigating services like the doctor's office, the post office, the bank.
Right. These are places where clear language is vital, but also, knowing the process and using the right tone matters a lot.
Like that doctor's visit scenario. Starts with waking up feeling rough, sore throat, headache, fever, weak. How do you communicate that effectively?
When you call the clinic, you state your purpose clearly, but keep it brief. I'm not feeling well, general start.
Then specifics.
Exactly. List the main symptoms. I have a sore throat, a headache, and a bit of a fever. Give them the key info up front.
And the request for an appointment. I'd like to see a doctor today if possible.
That, if possible, is polite. Right. Acknowledges they might be picked up. When they offer a time, confirming is easy. Yes, that's perfect. Or, that works for me.
Then at the clinic, checking in just your name and confirming I have an appointment at time.
Pretty much. The paperwork is straightforward: name, address, basic health questions, allergies, medications. Just providing the necessary facts.
And when the nurse takes your vitals,
They'll usually state the findings directly. You have a mild fever, your blood pressure is a little high. Sometimes adding context, like, which can happen when you're sick. That helps you understand.
Makes sense. Then with the doctor, you kind of repeat the symptoms again?
Yeah, briefly. And then they'll ask more specific questions to figure things out. Any cough?
Yeah.
Trouble breathing? Been around anyone sick lately?
Targeted question.
Right. And the exam findings are usually described simply. Throat looks red and slightly swollen. Ears are fine. Lungs sound clear.
Then the diagnosis and the plan.
Looks like a viral infection. Maybe a mild case of the flu. The instructions are direct. Get plenty of rest, drink warm fluids, take something for the pain. And crucial advice about work: you should stay home from work.
For how long?
For at least 2 days. And importantly, when to follow up. Did she come back if your symptoms get worse or if the fever doesn't go down?
And asking for a sick note for work is just a practical request.
Yep. And if they ask about scheduling a follow-up, saying, not right now, thanks, I'll call if I need to, is perfectly fine. Shows you understand but don't need it yet.
So the key takeaway there is clear, direct language for symptoms and understanding instructions.
Exactly. Very functional. Now, what about fixing something? Like that leaky sink example.
Yeah, the DIY repair. It starts with noticing the problem, hearing a drip, 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 finding the pipe under the sink, seeing a small crack, a puddle.
Using simple descriptive words. And the plan involves specific items. A replacement pipe, plumber's tape, a wrench, a bucket. Knowing these terms is useful.
And if you go to the hardware store and you're not sure which pipe was the right size, how do you ask for help?
A simple, excuse me, can you help me find something? Works. Then explain the problem again. I've got a leak under my kitchen sink. The pipe is cracked. Need to replace it.
Showing a photo, like in the source, is a smart idea.
Definitely helps. The employee gives advice using those specific terms. That looks like a standard 1 in 12-inch pipe, and you'll need some plumber's tape too.
And directions are usually simple. You'll find all that in aisle 4. Checkout standard too, right? Did you find everything okay?
Pretty much. And describing the repair itself uses action words. Place the bucket, turned off the water, removed the old pipe, cleaned the area, installed the new one, wrapped the threads with tape, screwed it in tight, turned the water back on slowly, checked for leaks.
And the final verdict. That worked.
Success. Sharing it with a neighbor involves simple praise. Wow, you did that yourself. That's great. And explaining the benefit. Good to learn how to fix small things, saves money, gives you confidence.
Common ways to talk about positive results. So this scenario shows how to describe a problem, ask for specific things, understand jargon in context, and talk about a process.
Exactly. Okay, let's touch on those other service interactions, post office and bank. Sending a package.
Involves prep work, taping the box, writing addresses, maybe feeling a little nervous if it's your first time.
At the counter, you state your goal clearly. Hi, I'd like to send this package.
Then the postal worker takes over. Weight, size.
Right. They'll likely give you options. Standard mail or express delivery. Explain the difference, time and cost. You choose. Maybe ask about insurance. What does the insurance cover?
Understanding the answer. If it gets lost or damaged, you get your money back.
Filling out forms, paying, and getting that all-important tracking number so you can see where your package is online. Very functional language.
And if there's a delay,
you call, explain the issue, give the tracking number. They might apologize, give a reason, bad weather, high volume, and offer updates.
It's all about clear communication for a transaction. State need, understand options, ask questions, follow up.
And the bank is similar, really. If you want to open a new savings account, you just say that.
They'll ask for ID, driver's license, or passport.
Guide you through the forms, explain the account options, maybe a regular one versus a higher interest one with a minimum balance.
You choose, learn about features like a debit card or online banking. Ask practical questions. How long will it take for the card to arrive?
Exactly. And understand what documents you need to keep. It's step by step. Provide info, understand features, confirm procedures.
Putting these together, you really see the pattern for service interactions. Purpose, info, options, questions, confirmation.
Right. And everyday life has even quicker exchanges. Think about grabbing a taxi.
Call the company. I need a taxi at time, please. Get in, state destination. Could you take me to address, please?
Maybe some brief small talk with the driver, weather, traffic. Then pay the fare. Thanks for the ride. Minimal, functional.
Or asking a coworker about lunch. Hey, where's a good cafe around here? Get directions, maybe a quick recommendation.
Then ordering, can I just get the sandwich and a coffee, please? Cashier asks the standard. Anything else for you? Quick, efficient.
Pharmacy for a headache.
State the problem. Hi, I have a headache. Ask for help. Could you recommend something? Answer questions about allergies. Get the advice. Just follow the instructions on the box. Problem, request, info, instruction. Very direct.
These rapid-fire examples show how much gets done with simple sentences and knowing the expected flow in each place.
And finally, the sources also showed language for supporting people, little things and bigger moments, like at the supermarket.
Making a list, finding items, asking an employee, "Excuse me, do you have any fresh potatoes today?" Getting help. "Sure, I can grab some from the back for you."
Simple request, helpful response. Spotting a deal. Oh, look, buy one, get one free. Standard phrase for promotions. And the cashier's check-in. Did you find everything you needed today?
Standard politeness before the transaction.
And then the example of helping someone prepare for something big, like the husband James with his presentation. He's nervous. got this important presentation for a meeting.
The offer of help is kind and direct. Do you want me to help you practice?
Practicing together involves giving feedback constructively. Maybe speak a little slower. Try to look at the audience more. Giving advice. Remember to answer questions clearly. Stay calm.
And the positive outcome.
Oh.
He feels more confident, says thank you.
It shows how practical sync language isn't just for buying things, it's for building relationships, showing you care, helping people feel more capable.
So, okay, pulling all these threads together, the casual chats, the doctor's visits, fixing the sink, helping a friend. What's the big takeaway here?
Well, I think the real power in everyday English isn't just about knowing specific words or complicated grammar. It's more about recognizing these recurring patterns.
Right.
Understanding the context they fit in, and using those common phrases that just sound natural in that situation.
So it's about listening differently, training your ear to catch these patterns in conversations you hear, maybe in movies or shows.
Exactly. Noticing how they're used.
Yeah.
And then, well, practicing.
Not just memorizing lists.
No. Imagining yourself in these scenarios. Trying out the language.
Yeah.
Building that muscle memory for saying, can't complain, or let me give you a hand, or I've got it under control.
Yeah, this deep dive really drives home that confidence in real-life English often comes from fluency in these everyday moments, being able to handle the practical stuff.
Shopping, travel, health issues, work chats.
And making those basic human connections using language that feels comfortable and effective.
It shifts the focus, maybe, from just pure correctness towards connection and clarity in those moments that make up daily life.
Absolutely. So as we wrap up, after digging into all these examples and insights, here's something for you, the listener, to think about. Which one phrase or maybe conversational pattern from everything we talked about today are you going to actively try to notice or maybe even use in your own English practice this week?